Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's podcast. I am Lee. I'm joined, as always, by my lovely co-host. We have the newest member to the pod, Kosta. How are you doing, mate? And Scott, as always, joining us to bring you all the action post Pokemon Day, post Pokemon Presents, and all of the goodies that got dropped on Pokemon Day.
Yes, I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. There's so much to unravel, obviously. Genuinely, there's so much because there was even more that came out post the presents as well. So, yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to it, my friend.
Yeah, lots to get into this week and lots of exciting things. I think like you say, most stuff came out, like all the goodies came out afterwards, after the fact, which is really interesting, which we will get into today. And Scott, how are you doing, mate? Happy Pokemon Day, belated, and
yeah, it was
you
good.
alright?
It was an interesting Pokemon Day. I think there's a lot of disappointed people. I think, as per usual, I think you said this on the stream. There's always too much optimism, too much hope for certain things that we just didn't get. And obviously, we're going to dive into all of the stuff that's happened. But yeah, it's still good. It's still hype, but it's just not. Yeah, there's a lot of mixed messages out there from some of the stuff they announced. So we might as well just go straight into it because we could ramble on about this for ages.
I was gonna say before we dive straight into it, just blocking out outside noise. I just want to say, just say your one thing that was your highlight from the Pokemon Presents. Costa, we'll start with you.
It's gonna probably have to be. Well, oh no, it's two. Okay, so it's Gen 10 revealed. Okay, the fact that the environments looked amazing. We're gonna obviously go into detail, and sort of my other half point. I know you asked for one, but I'm giving you two. That's me. It's gonna have to be the Champions trailer, not the one that was shown in the present, but the one showed afterwards, or in the Japanese one that was featured, which was pure animation based, and it was so hype. So that
cool. Awesome. Scott, what about you?
Probably the Gen 10 starters.
Gen 10 starters.
Yeah,
okay, great stuff, guys.
Yeah.
Well, how about you, Lee? We can't be rude and not ask you, my friend.
Thanks for asking, friends. I think for me personally, it probably was Champions. Just getting that ballpark date was my highlight from the presents.
Ballpark date. We didn't even get a date. We got
we got
an area of time.
4-week period, right? When we know it's going to be coming. So that was as good as it was going to get, and I think it says a lot. And I think my answer probably says a lot for the presents as well. But we can get into that. But like I say, great. Thank you for sharing, friends, and everyone that's listening, watching. If you're on YouTube, especially, let us know down in the comments right now what your highlight from the Pokemon Presents was. We all three of us would love to hear. But let's get into it. Post-mortem. Let's start from the top. Gen 10, you both mentioned it. Wind and Waves was announced. It was revealed. We got some footage of it, and we got the start of Pokemon. So where do we start? I think coming to you, Costa, is probably a good place, being in the development world of gaming. I think you're a good person to kind of talk about this. The game looked beautiful, right? And I was blown away with the aesthetics of it in general.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's always going to be a set amount of, I would say, decoration applied to these kind of trailers, especially because you want to be able to preview it, and you'll probably go ahead and get more cinematic based or animated based trailers going. So not going to be a lot of gameplay, but I think we did see some partial stuff that looked like they were just different sort of camera panning angles of gameplay when I think the character was running up a slope and stuff like that. That looked very in-game. I think there was a couple of Pokemon, maybe like a Tangela or something like that.
Yeah, there's a Tangela that went down the hill into a forest area, wasn't there? Yeah.
Right. So they already looked really good. I'm happy purely with the visuals. And when it comes to sort of this stage of development, we know based off of what we saw, the reveal of the release date, 2027. Obviously, we don't know when 2027. We're just going to assume it's usually Q3, Q4, probably Q4. But the fact that they're getting it out now, showing that it's got a lot of good qualities to it. Clearly, some really good ray tracing displays as well in terms of the environments and the shadows. I think it's just going to be even more polished when it comes out, and it's going to be taking advantage of the Switch 2, which is what we want to see, and obviously what we got revealed at the end of the trailer, that it's only going to be Switch 2 exclusive. That means that they're just putting all of their resources into the Switch 2 hardware versus having to draw back because of the Switch 1, which is hopeful.
Yeah, I think like I was blown away. I think there's a scene where the protagonists stand on the edge of the ocean, and then you see the waves, and the wave animation looked absolutely incredible. It was so amazing. So that's probably the most I've been blown away by any Pokemon game I think I've ever seen. So whether that's actual gameplay footage, I don't know, but if that was just, you know, enhanced a bit more for the trailer, who knows? But if it's anything like that, I think we've got a lot to look forward to. The Switch 2 as well is, yeah, I think they can get away with doing it on the Switch 2 because it's a year and a half out, probably, right? So it means if it is 2027 November, there's no way, like a year on from this November, they're going to be still producing Switch 1 games. So I think that's their kind of freebie where they can say, well, we're so deep into the Switch 2 now, you know, nearly 2 years, it's just a given that that's the way that games are going to be going, and they're not going to be developing for the Switch 1 any longer. But before we get into that more, I want to hear from you, Scott. How did you find it, mate? How the trailer in whole, general, aesthetically, and everything else that was revealed?
Uh-oh. Here we go. Come on. Lay it down thick on us.
Give us it. The truth.
Come on.
See, I don't really know how I feel about it because it's a Pokemon game at the end of the day. I saw a lot of comments still comparing it and saying that it still looks like a PS3 game.
I did see those as well.
I think you did address it on your live stream because I was watching that as well.
Yeah, I had a few comments in the live chat about that. So
I think it's clear that like Pokemon's never going to be a realistic game. I mean, Pokemon would just look ugly as well if they were realistic. I mean, you've seen some of the realistic Pokemon stuff before.
Hey, look at Mr. Mime and Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Mr. Mime fans of that movie, but we don't want that.
We don't want that. No. It looks great. It's colourful. I mean, I don't think any of that was gameplay footage, to be honest with you. I think it was just footage that, to me, it seems like because of the stuff that was leaked, I don't know whether they would have teased as much as they did if it wasn't for the leaks. And I feel like a lot of the footage was probably scrambled together after the leaks. So, okay, we have to show a decent amount now because they're going to be expecting it on Pokemon Day. And I don't think it's final. So I think it will look better than it already does. Not say it looks bad, but it doesn't look too different from Scarlet and Violet. In terms of the actual gameplay, obviously it looks different. Like the dive mechanic looks really cool, but it doesn't, visually, to me, it doesn't look too different to Scarlet and Violet.
Wow.
And I haven't got a problem with that because I don't think Scarlet and Violet looks bad. It ran poorly.
Have you played Scarlet and Violet? Are you sure you've seen the Winds and Waves trailer? I feel like these games look so different.
Scarlet and Violet on the Switch 2.
This is where Scott tells us, yeah, he's still playing Scarlet and Violet on Switch 1. He's never seen the Switch 2.
I don't have a Switch 2.
No, what?
I don't have a Switch 2. I don't have a Switch 2.
No,
I've still got my original Switch.
Okay.
That's fair.
That's fair. We respect your opinion, mate.
Until I've seen it in front of me. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but I hope it looks good. But from the trailer, it didn't blow me away.
I think it looks like Scarlet and Violet, though.
I don't know. It just
how they look so different. Like Winds and Waves, so much more enhanced. It looks so like just aesthetically way like better than
Aesthetically
anything in
pleasing.
Scarlet and better. Yeah.
It does, because like to be fair, right? So the specific moments that I was referring to about we've got certain camera pan angles where obviously you're not seeing it from third person point of view. I think that was the slope section, like we said. I think there was the character traversing through the sort of magma or lava pits where there's like a slugma as well. So I
Yeah.
think those are in game as opposed to fabricated animated based sort of footage in order to
Yeah.
sell it.
That would make sense.
But I think it was a mix. It was a mix of both, right? Obviously, that's the best way to make it look really,
Yeah.
you know,
Do you
visually.
think the underwater footage was gameplay or not? Or do you think that was more of a piece together?
I could see it being both, if I'm completely honest, because there's some parts of the deep dive, like the transition point, where it just looks like, okay, that's just fabricated. That doesn't look like there's going to be.
Because it goes black.
Yeah, it goes black.
It just goes black, and then it goes, and then you're underwater. So there's no actual transition from what you would expect to be the protagonist. But it's almost like, I think someone on my live chat also was like, it could be like the synchro machine being used, and it's actually a Pokemon that goes down into the water rather than you as a character, and you're using the synchro machine that was in the
Scarlet Violet, Indigo, yeah.
So I don't know. That's fair enough, Scott. I don't mean to rib you for it, but it's good to get your opinion on it.
No. Watching it back now, I can agree that it does look better. However,
we've not checked you.
Can we look at the some of the shell shading looks poor. Like in this image, as an example, like
show us.
Don't be that fan, mate.
No, let it be it. I want to see.
I'm just saying. Have you not? Can you not see?
No,
I haven't got it in front of me now.
Okay, well, it's not showing. I'm watching the trailer. Oh, this is no good. Okay, we'll have to sort something out for the next podcast. I've got it up. I've got the. Yeah, I don't know how to show it. I'd have to put a screenshot on Discord, but yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look bad. I just think some of the cell shading makes it look like it is still Scarlet and Violet, but it's probably not. It's probably because it's not real game footage and the stuff they've had to throw together.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's never going to be like a Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom style game, because it is Pokemon at the end of the day, and I think we have to expect as Pokemon fans that it's not about how good the game looks. It's always about the other aspects of the game that like make it what we enjoy, you know. So I think some people, like don't realize that and then get hung up on like trees and other things, and you know, it is nice to have the aesthetics, but also it's never been a huge important thing in Pokemon games in the past, and I don't know if it's something that we really need to get hung up on. The other side of the coin is, and I see it from this perspective, is people are saying, you know, well, we're paying AAA prices for these games, so they should be what we expect for the price that we're paying, and I get that argument. So there is that side of the coin as well, which is fair enough.
I mean, sorry, go first, Scott.
I was going to say, I think we're always going to be limited by Switch hardware, and I think people forget that. I know people may argue. I mean, you're going to have a better argument, a better knowledge than us about this because obviously you work within the industry. But it's still got a mobile.
It's an easy excuse that people can like jump on without like you're saying right now. Me and you probably don't have the best idea of it.
No,
but like
for sure.
Someone like Kosta, who works and does have a really good idea of what the capabilities are. It's like I can see him like squirming already at that comment, and I feel like it's an easy thing for like people like us that don't really have an idea to kind of just use as a reason why it's not good, but it might not be the reason.
I mean, look, so it just depends on the angle that you're coming from in terms of expectations, right? So like you said, if you're going to expect a certain art style from Pokemon, and the fact that they don't allocate all of their resources when it comes to all of the visuals, like when it comes to the environmental visuals, as opposed to the character asset design visuals, okay, then sure. Obviously, they give more focus onto the actual Pokemon themselves, what they look like, and blah, 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 and animations to an extent, and signature animations. But when it comes to like, it's just really down to prioritization. What is your most valuable part of the game that you want to try to highlight? With Breath of the Wild, in all honesty, they were wizards there's not a lot of people that still know how they did what they did on the software that they did it on, so Switch. But at the same time, there's middle ground that can be found in order for you to make it a bit more, optimally just engineered in terms of the performance handling, the stability handling, the sort of quality of polish when it comes to how much memory you're utilizing with the actual assets themselves in the game. And that's the main thing when it comes to Switch games, because you're so like shoehorned into it being limited hardware. It doesn't mean that you can't find creative ways or, like streaming, I would say, methods in order to be able to handle the game and make it look pretty in one small section and then ugly across the board where you can to a certain degree. But somehow Breath of the Wild just made it look pretty everywhere. And that's part of why people turn around. They're like, how did you do that? And now, obviously, Switch 2 means that you don't have that safety cushion as much to rely on. But it doesn't mean that you still couldn't have done better, because you could have done better. Like Scarlet Violet could have been better in terms of the performance. Now, I'm not talking about like the little trees and stuff like that, or, oh, hey, they look 8-bitty and all that stuff. You're always going to get those kind of comments. I sometimes say those kind of comments in my mind because I'm like, oh, that could have been better. But then I'm like, but that's not where their priority is. So I'm not going to get hung up on it. Like, they got different prioritization in terms of what they want to deliver with the game. But yes, there's a whole lot of nothing I said there. There you go. You're welcome.
No, it was
No,
it's
it
really
makes sense what you
getting that
said.
take about it. I like it. Do you think, low key, that the rest of the development industry and the Switch industry actually hate the Breath of the Wild development team for what they did?
Oh yeah.
They're
100%.
like, why did you do that? Because it makes us look bad no matter what we do.
Literally.
For the rest of the Switch.
You're on the money. 100%. It's just like you're just showing us all up.
Yeah.
You just like, don't get me like, they appreciate. They're like, oh my god, this game's amazing with how you guys have made it. But why did you do that to everyone else? Like, you just absolutely raised the bar of expectation, and it's just gone through the ceiling. And now everyone's just going to be referencing it, and we still do. How many years after?
It's a decade.
That's it. That's what I mean. It's
insane, isn't it?
Yeah. So
madness, crazy. I'll tell you where I'm at with Gen 10. I was happy with the reveal. I was surprised that it was called Winter Waves. I was pretty, like, I'd convinced myself because of the leaks. And I tried to stay as far away from them as I could, but inevitably I couldn't avoid all of them. But because of how they'd come about and with how like widespread they'd become, I was convinced that Pokemon were just not going to run with those original names. And I was like, they're bound to change them, because when were these leaks when did they originally crop up? Have they just been able to kind of tighten things up security-wise, keep things like low-key, and then they're going to reveal the game Gen 10, but it's going to be named something completely differently? And no, I was surprised to see it come out as Wind and Waves. And I honestly love the look of it. The starters, I'm gonna have to, I think, take time to kind of get behind the starters. It's probably the first time I've seen a new generation and not been instantly like super excited about the starters. But I don't know if that's come hand in hand with the fact that the release date is like a year and a half away, potentially, or just a year away at best. And I feel like because it's so far off, I feel like I cannot get hyped. I cannot get excited because I was fully expecting it to be this year. And now I'm like, that's so far off. I can wait getting like hype for this game because it's just not coming anytime soon. And it just felt weird that they're announcing it so early. But I think it comes back to your point, Scott, where it's probably due to the leaked info, with their hands almost feeling like they have to release something because of all the information that's already out there.
Yeah. I think you're hitting that on the head there. There's no hype. And so why would you get excited about the starters because you lead into stuff, right? Because people then start thinking, it's not that long away. Then that you start thinking about which one you're going to pick. But you can't really do that when the game's coming out in more than a year's time. You're like, why think about it now? Like, why lock it in now when we don't know? We don't know any more information. Like, I completely get it. Yeah, there's no way. It's weird. This is a pivot from Pokemon. They haven't done this in such a long time. I mean, what, this is the 4th year Scarlet and Violet's been out.
Yeah.
But then for a long time, I mean, probably because of what happened with Scarlet and Violet, people were like, you know, if it takes longer for them to release a game, people would prefer, like, we would prefer that. But then obviously they've delayed the game, and everyone's like, wow, you can't do this. I want to play my Pokemon game. But
you almost feel as well like they had their hands so burnt with Scarlet and Violet. With, you remember when it first dropped and there was a huge backlash about performance issues, and you had people actually returning games and Nintendo accepting returns for the games when in the first like month, saying, if you've bought this and you're not happy with it, we will give you a full refund on your game if you're not completely happy with it. And like that for me is the first time I ever remember that happening with a Pokemon game. And that might be down to Nintendo kind of rushing Game Freak, and Game Freak being like, this isn't ready, but if you need the game out, if you need us to put it out, we'll put it out, but it's not ready. And I think it would have just been like the culmination of a lot of bad circumstances following the past few years that had happened worldwide, right? With COVID and things like that. And now are they in the mind where they're like, we are not releasing anything until we are 100% happy with the final product. We don't want to be spending resources for like 2 years fixing the game and patching, because how many patch updates did Scarlet and Violet have? Like, so many. And I think it was continuous for like the first 2 years of that game being out. There was just continual patches. I mean, we could probably look at like the patch number on there. I'm sure it's 3 point something. It says a lot. So I don't know, are they in the mind now where they're like, no, we're not releasing it, and that this extra year that we've got on top of it being delayed now is going to be the time that they need for them to get it right?
I mean, I have mixed opinion. I feel, yeah, obviously that wasn't good for them in terms of the impact of when it came out, but the game still sold. Yeah, okay, there were going to be a set amount of number of returns and stuff, but their, at least in my opinion, their main strategy is get the video game out for the new generation, mainline stuff. Then that opens the door to all of the other merch and all of the other outlets of revenue, stuff like that. So you've got the TCGs of the world, you've got the Unites, the Goes, all of the plushies, new Pokemon design stuff. So like it opens up the doors in terms of everything else. So going back to my point, I feel that if they are willing to push it back further, it's probably going to be, in my opinion, a priority of, okay, they've got some other stuff lined up that are forcing it into that year just because of how they're road mapping everything, versus them being very worried, let's say, or even more worried because of the Scarlet Violet ship, which, you know, like it did not ship well at all. Like, and everyone was aware of it in terms of, you know, the performance and all the bugs and stuff like that. So,
you know what the crazy thing about that is, though, is that Scarlet and Violet is still the most sold game.
Well,
yeah.
Behind Red and Blue, it hasn't overtaken that
yet. I thought
it
overtook Red and Blue, did it not?
No, I think it's just behind second best.
Maybe without the returns, it would have been.
It might because it probably still sells now. I don't know how many more copies it would need to sell, but I think it's just behind Red and Blue. I'm pretty sure. And it had 11 major update patches in total.
That's crazy. That's mental.
I was gonna say, do you think the success of the sales and stuff like that is down to the fact that competitively and just mainline wise, it's still the most latest mainline game versus us having jumped to a new gen? Like, do you think that could be related? Because people that want to get into Pokemon, let's say, have had 4 to 5 years worth of a chance to be able to get into it with buying Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, but that's always going to be the case when a game comes out, though, isn't it? Because it's always going to be the newest game when the game comes out.
They've got a longer life cycle than the other generational mainline
Yeah, but
games.
Scarlet and Violet reached a lot of those milestones within the first couple of years. This isn't something that was achieved recently.
Okay.
Yeah, so best-selling game is, to date, Pokemon Red, Green, and Blue, which was 31 million copies. Scarlet and Violet is in second with 28 million copies. Sword and Shield just behind that at 27 million copies. And then it's Gold and Silver, Diamond and Pearl, XY, Sun and Moon, Ruby, Sapphire, Black and White, and the list goes on right down to the bottom, which the worst is that is a mainline series game. I'm getting soft topic here.
Go for it.
Have to go up because we've got like Gales of Darkness and stuff in there as well, which is mainline series. Oof, where are we going?
I'd be curious to see
Pokemon Crystal.
Oh,
yeah,
Crystal.
6 million units.
Wow, I see that as a rarity. I didn't like. You should be privileged to have Crystal. But
wow, I'm surprised at that.
That's pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I feel like obviously there are the DLCs as well, so that sort of adds to my point of I'd be curious to see the annual charts of profits, because they still had new content that they were coming out with. They had two more opportunities, right? If not three, technically.
There is the argument with the DLCs, though. A lot of people I see making, and it does like I don't subscribe to it, and I don't really know, but like DLC content now is a way for them to make additional money, which is fine. It's just how these things work. But a lot of people are like, this content would just have been post-game content that they've cut off and just slapped on the end of. They haven't really done anything.
But would you prefer a second game, third game, whatever you want to call it, or the DLC? So the same game with the if they released Scarlet and Violet 2 just with the DLC on top, would you be willing to pay the 60, 70 quid that it would cost for that game to then replay through the whole game just to do the end bit, or would you prefer to pay less money to do the DLC?
The DLC.
Is that the Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon argument that you're making, Scott?
Yeah, pretty much.
I know Platinum was a better iteration, but we used to have a third game, right? Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon was essentially the same thing, but you know, we always used to have X and Y. We never got one because we got Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. But
yeah, I think if they had the enhancements, if you go back to like Emerald, right, and you look at Ruby, Sapphire, and then you look at the enhancements that you got on Emerald and everything else that you got alongside that third edition, I think I'd be quite happy to do that again, because I think
Battle Frontier,
all that sort of stuff. Like, I think that was a really good example of like making it worthwhile to do a third game. But I think they're never going to do that now. They're just going to do DLC content.
Yeah, I mean, it's an easier way for them to make money.
A shame, yeah.
The game industry's changed so much that I don't see us going back to that point. And like I think everyone is aware that it could easily have been the same game and it didn't need to be a DLC. Yes, everyone's so aware of it, and that's the reason why they do it, because there's more profit opportunities. So why not do it? And it's just unfortunately how most of the game industry has evolved. You do see some exceptions where there are going to be certain games that were very popular, or they were big hits, and they were able to go ahead and release a new DLC for free. So like Claire Obscure, for example, they did that. Sure, the DLC wasn't that big, but you know, like there's certain, maybe it is indie kind of studios that do it more than just the regular AAA, because AAA is always after your wallets and stuff like that, you know, rhetoric.
They didn't call it a DLC to such, but they had a Daybreak update, which was almost like a DLC for Legends Arceus, and that was free, which was a very small update, but it didn't really add many features, but it added like massive mass outbreaks, a little bit extra story there, and not much else. But it was a free update, which was pretty cool. And then I guess as well, you needed the DLCs for the the epilogue update for Scarlet and Violet for the Petra run, didn't you? That was not you couldn't do that without the DLCs.
Yeah, because you needed the loyal 3, right?
Yeah, you needed all that stuff. So there we go. But talking about Pokemon specifically, which starter
Oh,
from Winning Waves are you all about? Which one is your favorite? What are your thoughts? We'll quickly touch on this. We've touched the release date. So this is where we'll finish up with Gen 10 Winning Waves for now, because I'm sure we've got plenty of future episodes where we'll be able to delve a lot more deeper into it. And we've still got quite a bit to get through today.
100%. Study Boy, I'm going to pass it straight over to you.
I like the doggo.
Valid. I mean, I don't think there's anyone that doesn't like the doggo.
I actually think they're all great stars, to be honest. And I think it's a long time. Well, I think most people's decisions, obviously, before we know the final evolutions, are going to go purely on looks. And I think they all look great. They all look very cute, and I could see. But most people's final decision will be based on the final evolution. And so until that kind of comes out, I don't think I can make a definitive, because I keep going back and forth. It's the first game in a while where I've looked at the stars and go, I could see myself picking any of these. So yeah, I think what Route has got a bit of attitude.
It does.
You know, you can see it. It literally looks like an angry bird. And then the gecko-looking one, I can't remember what that was called. Gekwa looks kind of sick, and then the other one's just a doggy. So
yeah, Pom Bom.
It looks like Pomeranian. So
yeah,
just looks so happy.
What are you guys?
That's yours, Kosta. Pom Bom.
Well, I'm gonna have to be basic. I think there's just not much you can hate on Pom Bom for. It's just such a innocent little chaotic thing. You can just see there's not a lot going on in its head, but it's just so happy to be around. Yeah, it's just happy. It's like, oh my god, I'm alive. This is great. I can move, and there's just something so lovable about that. Where I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, go on, Pom Bom. But I would probably say Brout as well. It's sort of like versus my initial impact of a reaction impact, and now when I've been able to sort of read a bit more about the Pokedex entries, which are available on the website and stuff like that, right? Or at least some description of them, not the Pokedex entry. I'm starting to like Brout more, and I haven't, checked much out from Gekwa, but Brout apparently, because it's got like its brows, its eyebrows. So, and then it's like a tree or like a tree origin. So it's like Brout. And apparently it's a little chick that is so clumsy. And I'm like, okay, I'm a sucker for clumsy little, bird Pokemon that just don't know where the heck to go. And I just want to say, hey, just come to my Pokeball. Just right here. It's a nest ball. It will keep you safe. I will keep you safe. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Let us know in the chat, the comments down below, which starter out of the three you like and will probably end up picking.
Lee, what about you?
We'll just say Pom Bom at the minute.
That's
I think I like that one design wise. I like Gekwa. I'm not fully like, I don't know. I've got to be honest. Like, I'm honest all the time. I'm normally like over the top hype with how excited I am for new starters and new Pokemon, but these designs didn't like hit me like I'm normally used to hitting. And I don't know what it is. They'll probably grow on me over time. And like Scott says, when I see the final Evos, but if I was to pick one right now, Pom Bom, I would be happy with that. It's a happy little dog, and we've got a little puppy as a starter Pokemon finally, and it's probably gonna evolve into some badass fire dog things. I mean, that can't be bad, right?
Yeah, bipedal.
Yeah.
Wrestler.
No.
So, wait. Before we do this, I saw a TikTok that was going around, and it was this person was going so over the top. They're hilarious.
The Incineroar.
No. Not even the Incineroar. So this is another one. They've got a theory that they've decoded all of the initial designs of the 3 starter Pokemon, and
Yeah.
they know that they're sort of like trying to take after professions, like Japanese professions or something like that.
Okay.
So Gekwa looks a bit like a oh my lord, I was going to say the wrong word. A what do they call the old Japanese sort of ladies that were had a lot of makeup?
Geishas.
Yeah, geishas. That's it. So it's something to do with like its eyelining or something like that. It sort of like extends a bit, and it's sort of
Okay.
like geisha design.
Oh.
Oh, your webcam's gone.
It's
Yeah,
okay. It's
Costa.
because I'm talking about amazing stuff, and you know it can't take it. So basically, I'm going to continue. And then you've got the Pombon, which is
Wow.
some. Oh gosh, I forgot what it was. So I'm going to skip it completely, and I'm going to go over to Brout. And Brout apparently, sort of, you know how it doesn't have pants, basically. It looks like it doesn't have pants. It's a bit strange. It's got like
Birds.
It's a bird,
yeah, the
mate.
bird.
It's a bird.
Yeah, no, it's a
not gonna-
bird.
It's not
But
going to
wait.
have clothes.
Wait, but there's
All
a
of them have
theory.
pants.
Wait. The theory is it may end up becoming a sumo wrestler.
What? How do you get
This
a
is
sumo
this is
wrestler from
this is
Brout?
fucking crazy fan food, bro.
How?
It's possible.
You
You
make
need
stuff
to
up.
tell us what Pom Bom's going to be now, because we've got a geisha, we've got a sumo wrestler, and
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to
A
try to
horse,
like.
massive
It was-
unicorn.
massive
I'm
unicorn.
gonna have to. You know what? I'm gonna find it out, and I'm gonna intentionally go to the comment section of this, probably on YouTube, and I'm gonna post it just so people can know. So
We can pin
Okay.
it. We can pin it.
pin
Brilliant.
it. Yes.
Yeah, we will
please.
pin it. We'll
Yes.
find out. I'm curious to know what Pom Bom is, but great to hear. And I love the enthusiasm you guys have for the starters. It's gonna get me probably a little bit more enthusiastic as we go forward. But that's Gen 10 waves and wind and waves. We've got a while to wait for it. We got a first look. It was very exciting, and lots more I'm sure will be get drip fed throughout this year as we get into other things. Next up, we have to talk about Pokemon Champions. We didn't get a whole lot of information in the presents, but we got that rough. I think the biggest information to come out from it was a release date in April. I found it strange that we didn't get a specific date, but maybe that's quite telling to say that it's not quite, they're not quite sure it's ready for either the first or the end. So they're giving themselves a 4-week window when it will drop at some point. Scott.
Yeah, yeah. I think they've messed it up. I think from what I've seen and what I've heard about the game, I think
Do tell, what
it's
have you
game
heard
over.
and seen? I don't think it's game over at all. I think it's people being hyperbolic about things.
Probably.
I'm just going to say this, right? I'll throw this out here right now, right? If this is the pay to play thing, if anyone,
No, I'm not talking about that.
anyone out there, right? And this is what I want to say anyway. I think if anyone out there ever thought this game was going to drop and there wasn't going to be a pay feature in it, is like
Delusional.
Yeah. So there's always going to be a pay feature in it. Always. They need to make money. They're not going to just put this out there for people to play for free, host ranked battles and all these other things for free. Like they're doing this as something to make money. And I've heard a lot of noise about the pay to play to win and all this stuff. And I think that will be an aspect, but that's an aspect now that we have to deal with. And plenty of people deal with it now. Fine. I'm not going to go too ranty, but yes. But let me know what your thoughts are and your hearings and opinions. And then we'll get to you, Costa. You can burn us all down.
Well, I mean, I don't need to because you know everyone's gonna always have their mixed opinions. We were saying in the previous episode as well. They're definitely just gonna be finding a way to be able to get us on the subscription belt.
But we don't know exactly what it is yet, do we?
We don't. But
well,
there is
the box thing. The box thing's on behind a subscription.
Oh, there is. Yes. Yeah. I think it's sort of wasn't it the box limit? It starts with like 30, and then you could go up until 80, if I'm not mistaken. There was some sort of like highlight of that. We don't know yet, but basically, I think there have been a couple of people already on socials that have been posting sort of like dissection kind of details of every single little bit that even came out with the Japanese website and
Well, it's weird
stuff.
because we got we got nothing on the English stream, and then there was just
Right.
loads of stuff on the Japanese websites and on the trailer.
weird.
Like, it was the
Super
disparity
weird.
was bizarre.
It was bizarre. Like, I mean, it was just so uncoordinated. It's crazy.
Do you
to
think though, like, if the format is, if it's a really restricted format, right? If we've got maybe like 200 to 300, I don't even think we'll have 300 Pokemon that are going to be usable. I think the formats are going to be a lot smaller Pokemon wise, because they're just going to include the fully evolved forms of Pokemon from the looks of things for the most part. Like, they might include stuff like, we've seen Pikachu. They might throw things like Clefairy in there that are like
Magmar. Magmar, like, not for, like,
yeah, Magmar, because Eviolite and stuff like that. But we're not going to get like the base one. We're not going to get like Bulbasaur in the decks, you know, when we've got like Venusaur.
Yeah, but surely you can't take that away from the person. If you're gonna have a Venusaur available, you at least from a design point of view, surely you cannot remove the opportunity if someone does want to rock up with a Bulbasaur and Ivysaur. Like, obviously Ivysaur has more of an argument, but like, let's say for whatever reason there's a Trico. You know, you remember the old strategy in like last year's format, one of them, where it was like there was a Grovyle and there was a Calyrex Ice Rider and there was like the Pledge team. Like, that ended up becoming valid. And that's an Eviolite Mon that it didn't even run Eviolite, it ran Focus Sash because it could capitalize off of Unburden. So
no, that is true.
Taking that away from trainers that want to be creative, in my opinion.
Yeah, that is true. But I mean, all I'm thinking is, have they looked at the formats and said, okay, there's only like 200 Pokemon to pick from this format round. Like, are people really going to need like all 200 of these, or is like is 80 Pokemon going to be enough? Because most of the Pokemon in this 200 aren't going to be the top tier ones, aren't going to be what you're using, and are realistically, is a box of 30 Pokemon at a time going to be enough for this one format? That's the only thing I can think why they're doing it, to make it make sense. Because like, I feel like otherwise, until I like not all of the details, I feel like I can't really formulate a complete opinion on it, because I don't want to be too one-sided or too.
But this is a problem, right? Is we're getting random info from different places. Like, we don't have like an official web page with all the info that we know. Like, I heard today that they might be binning off EVs and IVs and turn like in favor of like a 66-point system where you can just put points in instead of the individual.
I think
IVs
we've always known. Like, I don't think IVs have gone away. I think they just don't. I think they're all just set to 31, right?
But you might not want them set to 31 though.
I know, but then that is, I think we've known that since like the second trailer though, where it's just been everything set. The only thing I think that we can, as far as I know, that we can change is going to be EVs, nature, abilities, and moves, obviously, as well.
And they can be changed via the VP victory points.
Yeah,
right?
and we got the payout for those. I think there was information about like the specific payouts for doing each one of those tasks.
I've got them right in front of me. So
on the money.
On the money. So change move is 100 VP, change nature is 200 VP, change ability is 400 VP, and change stat, so individual, is 2 VP. In other words, increased stat point. So 2 VP per stat.
Wow, okay.
Which is interesting. And I guess sort of leans into, obviously, like we've discussed, they want to try to get trainers and players, users, whatever, to just churn out the VP through all different methods of online battling, but also the missions that we don't know too much about. But we did find out on the Japanese website that there's, obviously, we saw the very cool animation hype trailer video, which wasn't featured as part of the Pokemon Presents, like we said, or at least the English one, which showed a bit more around, what is it, battle trainers, or what are they called?
Was that like the one that I dropped earlier?
Yeah. So that's the one. That's the one, exactly.
So yeah, I completely missed that one.
Yeah.
The intro to the game, basically.
Exactly. So Yeah, and it's what else is it? There are certain like highlight trainers or like not tutors per se, but they're like
Yeah.
notable NPCs that will allow you to go ahead and play a couple of missions so you could get rewards in the
Mm.
form of VP and maybe some other means, whether that is certain moves that are being tutored or learned or certain strategies as they
They're
call it.
like your guides through the game, basically, aren't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially, and they've all got their own sort of different section that they'll
Mm.
be appearing in. So, like, I think there's the main one, which is in that trailer, which was it Cathara or something like that, and she's going to be in the battle arena.
Caraway.
Caraway, yeah.
There we
Watching
go.
it now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
Well,
yeah,
I think all that stuff was updated on the English website and US
yes,
website, but it was a couple of hours after the presents dropped. It
exactly, yeah,
wasn't immediately. And it's not easy to find all that information because it's like dotted around at different sections rather than in the news section. It's like none of that new information is just compiled together. It's all dotted around different areas of the
yeah.
site, which makes it
It's messy.
really, yeah, it doesn't make it easy to kind of just say, oh, instantly, this is like the new stuff that they've just added today, you know? It's like, it's really hard to kind of, you got to go through the whole website and be like, did they have this the last time? I'm pretty sure they didn't. And then be like, maybe they did. I don't know.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they even like with this additional info, they even revealed like more regulation sets as well and
Yeah.
the structures to that for ranked battles,
The
which
MA and all that.
that's
And
it.
then,
Yeah.
yeah, the adding of Pokemon each time around, which is,
Yep.
it's pretty much how it works now, right? But they're just kind of, I guess, putting a roadmap in place so we know what to expect when it arrives.
It is curious though. So I've taken note of this, and this is the image that's in the seasons and regulations section. So I'll just leave it in like our Discord so you guys can check as well. With the regulations set, let's say MA, which is going to be the first one,
Mhm.
there's like a subcategory of two callouts, which is season M1 and season M2,
Yeah.
that only constitute to that individual regulation set. So
Mhm.
first of all, can we assume that each of those seasons are 30 days worth of duration or more? And what does that mean in terms of how long we're going to be on each of these regulation sets? Because if it is 30 days per season, this implies a shorter rotation
Yeah,
of
it's like
different
every
formats
month, really, isn't it? 'Cause
every
you
two,
would
one,
assume
two.
that season M1 is season month 1, season month
Right,
2.
right.
So you would assume that.
Yeah,
So the regulations are running for 2 months at a time.
which
Each
is
season is a
crazy.
month each, and then we're gonna get new rule set every 2 months?
Yeah, at least that's what if our assumptions are correct, that's what
Mm,
this may imply,
yeah.
right? Which is I don't know. I feel like that's the wrong way, in my opinion. You should be going. I like. Obviously, we've all been playing VGC for a while. We were here when there were 1 year formats back
Yeah.
in the day, right? Which
Back in
I
my day.
In
back in the
there.
day. Which I personally do miss quite a bit because I feel like it depends on the quality of the format, how much more room there is to explore. But it was a good way to be able to grind stuff in terms of finding niche themes and blah blah blah. Although, like I'd still be perfectly content if it was like 2 formats per year. So like
Mhm.
do it as a split or something like that. And now we're on a rotation of 3 formats. Oh, should I say 1 format per 3 months, roughly, in the current season, past couple seasons. This feels like it's even more demanding and shorter, which
Yeah,
I've got mixed feelings about.
There's
I
no way
agree
they're
with
going to
you.
change it for competitive. If they changed it every month, people would be fuming because you
Every
might
2
only
months.
every 2 months.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
still feels like too much. I don't know.
I agree with you,
Yeah.
Costa. I feel like 2 formats every like one new every 6 months, and what they could do to spice things up every 3 months, so halfway through that format, they add in maybe like 5 new Pokemon,
Mm.
you know? Like
Or
they
some items or something.
yeah, or just
Or
do
gimmicks.
something new to like
Yeah.
because that like I'm thinking back to like 2013, like that format was brilliant. It developed the quality of play at the end when we got to Worlds was like so good.
Mm.
But right before Worlds, they dropped in Defiant Tornadus. So that absolutely just completely flipped the whole format on its head. And you also got like Ice Punch T-Tar as well in 2014, which was an event Pokemon just before Worlds. Like Judy ran it in their team, you know, to
That's
finals.
crazy.
So
Yeah.
there's things like that, probably not to the extent of leaving it right till the last minute before a big tournament, but then dropping those Pokemon in that would have a big impact, you know, on the format. I think you could do that and it would spice things up a little bit, maybe make things a little less relevant, make other things more relevant because of the new threats, etc. It just creates that cycle, keeps things fresh enough for players that might be getting bored at that 3-month mark, that are used to that cycle now.
Yeah.
And then for the next 6 months, you've got that whole period where you've got this huge development cycle. And then you get at the end of those development cycles, that's when they should position the ICs, because then that's when you're going to get the top caliber
Agreed.
players at the top of their game, top teams. And yeah, I mean, we saw EUIC, right? I think that's a great example of, we've had Regulation F twice over, and you saw the quality of play at that event overall across the board, I think. And even at Worlds last year, I think where players had a longer time to play that format, the quality of that Worlds was probably some of the best we've had, I think, in a long, long time.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
yeah.
And it's also interesting, quick tangent, reading the same page, it does state Master Mega Evolution in ranked battles. I know this is ranked
Oh,
battles,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's sort of
Will
the
be megas, yeah.
yeah. So it's saying under the first set of rules for ranked battles held
Mm,
in Champions, Pokemon will be able to undergo Mega Evolution. So now we've seen in recent times our ranked battles in Scarlet Violet differentiating from our official competitive format that we've been playing. So obviously we've had Red J for like past couple how long, and we've been on a completely different format competitively, like with IRL events. But before then, they were in sync. So this to me feels like they're trying to guide it back into being synced, because why wouldn't you have it synced up with the official competitive format that's played in IRL events? But also this confirms that 100% Mega Evolution is going to be the first set of rules
yeah.
format, right?
I felt like that was going to be the case
It
anyway.
has
But
to
I
be,
mean, yeah.
but it's good to get confirmation, and they haven't
Yeah,
mentioned
you're right.
anything to do with Terra right
Yeah.
now. So like a
Yeah.
mix of gimmicks for the
Mm.
first one.
Yeah, I think like that was kind of more supported as well with the Delphox, there's a Chestnut and the Greninja
Yeah.
kind of reveal at this trailer, where they were like, yeah, you can get these Pokemon. Greninja's a gift, isn't it? I think the other two you can port in, and Dragonite is a gift as well, I believe.
Yes. And
There's
then
one
there's
that's
the
like an
Eternal
early,
Flower Floette as
yeah,
well.
I think there's an early purchase bonus, which could be the Dragonite. And then I think if you've got those 3 or 4 in, no, that's it. If you've got those 4 in home,
Yep.
and you get the Megastones in your mailbox, right?
Yeah,
For
you
those,
need to move them from home into the game, and the
yeah,
moment you do that, you get the stones. Yeah.
yeah.
Get the stones.
Get the
Save the
stone.
world. Yeah,
You
sorry.
got the minerals.
But yeah,
Sorry, I
God.
had to drop it. This is just any excuse to drop a Snatch reference. Great film.
Well played.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I'm excited to play Megas. I'm excited that it's not that far away, like 4 weeks potentially. Are you leaning on the side of, right, I know we've got Prague, I know we've got Orlando Regional, like on the first weekend. It's like days after the first.
3 or 4 days, I think, or
Yeah.
something like that. It's crazy.
I would be hard pushed to say champions will be at that regional, but we've seen crazier things in the past. I would love to see that happen. But I do feel quite confident that Prague at the end of April could be on champions.
There's
Oh,
no
wow.
way. There's no way.
Well, wait, Scott. He's
There's
quite
n-
confident. We
There's
need to hear
no
why.
way.
Go
Why
on.
not? Why
Go
not?
on. What? No. Tell us why. Like, why?
I think they're going to drop champions more towards the beginning of April.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Right.
I think it'll drop in the first week of April. It might drop it might drop on the weekend of Orlando. I kind of feel like it might drop around that time or just after. That's 3 weeks then. If they've got it out for 3 weeks, there's no reason why they keep Scarlet and Violet. And it's on the Switch only, so it makes it easier for tournament running to just have it on Champions because it's on Switch and they're familiar with the Switch and they know how everything runs. So it wouldn't be that big of a changeover. It's not like a headache of being like, how are we gonna how we've got 3 weeks to figure out how we're gonna have compatibility with Switch 2 and iOS and Android devices. Like that would be a nightmare in itself in 3 weeks. But I think because they're doing this staggered delay between Switch and Android and iOS devices, it feels like that is enough for the competitive production team to kind of be able to be like, right, we can get our heads around this. And I think 3 weeks is fine, right?
I mean, we've experienced
Sure.
2 weeks, haven't we, with
Yeah.
EUIC 2017,
Yeah.
where we had to complete Sun and Moon. We had to
That
figure
was
out
actually
what
quite
ones
fun.
are good
I'm not
or
gonna lie,
not.
that was fun.
It was painful.
It was chaos. It was actual
It
chaos.
was, yeah.
Really was, but it was fun. There was this sort of like feeling of, I don't know, that you're
Well,
embarking on a new
everyone was
adventure.
on the same level, right?
Yeah.
There was no defined meta because there wasn't enough
Right.
time to define a meta.
Yeah.
So that's what made it so interesting.
That's true. It was chaotic, though. But so what we're saying is we think they would be capable of doing the same again. I agree. Now, do you think it's completely bonkers for them to release April 1st and say, right, this is it
On April 1st.
on April 1st?
That would be
because
wild. That's
why
a
not?
wild date to do it.
And say, yeah, you know what? You've got Orlando in 4 days. Yeah, it's on Champions. Get ready.
I can see it. I can
just
see it happening
can't.
because I think the thing is, right, with that, you've got to think as well that it's easy to make a team. It's just really bad for the people that have registered for that event ahead of time that are expecting it on Scarlet and Violet. I think that's the thing. I think people that have registered need to have enough time to. Yeah, I don't know how they would do it. I just don't know. Yeah, it doesn't sit right if you're announcing that. I think you need to announce it like ahead. Like that's what I think. If they do Prague and it's on Champions, I think they could say, okay, you've got 4 weeks announcement time. I feel like that's enough time, but I think 3 days is really like
they're not dropping it at the beginning of April. There's no way.
They can't.
They would have said they would have given a date. They're not going to give you. They're not going to say April and then drop it on the 1st of April. I would be amazed.
Let's have a little wager, right? Let's have a wager here, right? I'm
yeah.
not saying the first. I'm saying I reckon. Let me have a look at my calendar.
Yeah, give us a range. Give us a range.
We'll all say a date, and the closest
All right.
I think it will drop.
So Orlando is the Saturday, Sunday, April 4th and 5th. All right. So
I think it's going to drop on the. I think it will drop on the Tuesday the 7th. That's when I think.
What?
Tuesday the
Okay,
7th.
so right after, like you said.
Yeah, wait there. I just want to check one thing.
Interesting why you say Tuesday. Curious. What about you, Scott? When do you reckon in April?
I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm going to say the 7th. I'm going to lock in on the 7th.
Wow. Okay, he's locking in. Careful now.
I reckon like the 17th.
Okay.
But I don't think. I don't think Prague will be on Champions.
It's still 2 weeks for Champions.
No, it's not. Prague is a week after.
It is. It is a week after. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
it is. It's 24th, 25th.
24th.
25th, sorry, 26th.
Still enough time, a week, 7 days.
But then you can say that for Orlando in a way. In a way, right?
Saying, right? If you were registered to play Prague, right? And you were given the option now, okay, you can play on Scarlet and Violet, or you've got a week to prepare on Champions and we're playing on that. Which are you taking?
I mean, obviously Champions.
Which are you taking, Scott?
I'm cancelling my ticket to Prague.
Really?
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
No, to be fair, like it's a huge commitment
That's
as well,
fair enough.
right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah. It's a lot of money.
it is.
Yeah.
I can't see it being a smooth release. Like, I think the game's going to have problems when it comes out. And I think if you drop it quickly, and it depends on how grindy the system is, right, to get these points that you need to make a team. If it's really grindy, people aren't going to have enough time to make teams. So I think they're going to drop it. I think they're going to give it a good chunk of time. Not a large amount of time, but I reckon at least. I still think maybe NAIC Worlds. That's it, Champions. That's how pessimistic I am.
I
I don't
think
think
that
it's a
has to
bad
be a
thing,
regional before
but
NAIC.
look, prove me wrong. I'll be happily
That's wrong.
proven wrong, but
No.
So for context, NAIC is the end of May. Sorry, it's the start of June. Apologies.
Start of June, yeah.
June 12th to 14th.
Yeah.
And before then,
Turin.
I'll tell you how many major events. Yeah, so there's Turin, Indianapolis, Lima,
Utrecht.
Melbourne, Utrecht, Campinas, Los Angeles, Prague. So yeah, it reaches up to Prague. So that's 8 to 9 major events before NAIC and after Prague.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. They're going to want to test it at a major event before Worlds, right? I can't see them it being only Worlds. I just don't know. My brains, I just don't have faith in Pokemon at the moment. I'm not trying to be a doomer, but I just, because everything is so vague, I just want to know. Like the fact that we don't know whether, like the fact that we had to sign up for, we signed up for Prague on the Wednesday, Pokemon Presents on the Friday. We still don't know. We were meant to get a format announcement for the next format. We still don't know what it is.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Monday right now.
Yeah, according Monday what is it?
Monday,
The 2nd of March. We still
should
don't
have
know
had
what
that
the
out
format is.
today.
We should have had that out. Like, I want to know. Like, if there's enough time, I will go to Prague. But at the moment, if the game comes out a week before Prague, I'm not going.
Champions, baby. That's why we haven't got the announcement yet. It's gonna be champions.
Look at them go.
And they can't tell us because they're like, it'll spoil the date, the release date.
Mate, okay, how about this? From an organizational point of view, right?
Yeah.
How will that work in terms of the format? Do they care about, let's say, we're still doing Scarlet Violet, let's say Orlando, all right, cool, we're just going to do Scarlet Violet. We have no real time to be able to get you guys to play Champions if we release April 1st. Do we think that they're going to do a mandatory duration split? So let's say just for this month, we're either going to extend the current regulations set F.
Yeah, it makes sense too, wouldn't it?
Just for 1 month.
Yeah.
And then next month, we will allow this unique scenario to go through with Champions for the remainder of the season. Do we think that's a possibility?
Something like that'll happen if it is a end of April release or mid-April release. I think, like Scott said, the 17th. I think if it's around that sort of time, I reckon that makes the most sense to do something like that. You know, I think just extend Regulation F for another month rather than change things up again. I think because we're seeing a lot of innovation still in this format, so it's not. It's not a boring format, I don't think. So I think you could just extend it for a month. I think people going to Orlando, and it's probably going to be split like this. Like you're on one side saying, if you give me at the drop of a hat the chance to play it on Champions, I'm doing it. But then you've got the other side of the coin. With Scott, that's like it's too short notice. I need to have a little bit more stability in this announcement, which is fair enough, and I totally get that. So I think it comes down to the point of I think they need to give everyone plenty of notice, regardless of what the decision is.
They should.
It needs to be hopefully soon, and hopefully that's something that we will see, but we will wait to see, I guess. But coming April, we've got a lot of information from it. We have got a few things to get through, so I'm going to just skip over those because I do believe time is ticking on, chaps. Fire Red Leaf Green. Have you guys jumped into it, played it, had fun with it, done any shiny hunting on it, anything, or nothing?
I'm a purist when it comes to like old games. I want to play it on I want to play it on the original console with the original game. I don't want this emulator rubbish on a modern console. I don't want to be able to see the screen properly. I want it as intended. I want the struggles of people when the game come out.
Okay. So, I didn't realize you were that much of a purist, my friend.
Wow.
Good to know. I mean, I get it. You want to go back to, re-experiencing it the way that it was initially intended.
Sure. You literally just killed the Fire Red Leaf Green.
He's just like grab.
No,
like,
but I know there's
a bright yellow dagger and just.
There's a lot of people that disagree with me, and that think it's a much better experience, and it probably is. But I'm just saying personally, part of the charm of playing an older Pokemon game is playing it. I mean, I have the benefit because I went and did it. I went and bought all of the older games, so I have them.
I was there, mate. I was there. I saw it.
I would have been very young when Fire Red Leaf Green come out, but
I'm an OG, mate.
I'm an OG. You don't understand. You don't understand.
You wasn't there.
Come on, Scott. Preach, mate. Keep it going. We want to hear it.
No, I don't think you deserve it.
We already got a good amount of it. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you got to finish this. Come on.
Do.
I don't know. I just like. I think the older games are expensive, and I think if you don't have the older games or you've never even played them, I think it's great. And I think with the home compatibility, I think it makes it a really good like value proposition. It's way more accessible for people. I think it. I used to think, oh, it's kind of a waste of money. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
That's not me. That's him.
I know. I remember when they did the ports on the 3DS. I used to think like, but again, I owned the games. I was like, this is kind of pointless. Like, surely if you want, and you can emulate on your phone, right? Like, famously, people emulate on their phone Pokemon. I know you can't really do it on an iPhone, but on
stealing, Scott.
It is stealing. You are correct. That is the wrong way to play. But most people, I know a lot of people playing on emulators. But yeah, it's just a preference, you know.
That's okay. People, I mean, in the end of the day,
I'm not saying the experience is better. I'm just saying this is how I want to experience the game, and maybe I will play it on the Switch and be like, oh damn, I'm an idiot. This is way better. No. But you know. It's just how I feel.
I think if you played it on the original games, you probably play it on the Switch more for the nostalgia kick more than anything else. Which you might like just be like, I'm quite happy just picking up my SP or my GBA and just playing it that way. So that's fair.
If I hadn't lost my SP, I would probably be doing that right now. So yeah. Because I get it, you know, just being able to just have it right there and sort of literally force yourself back into like a positive PTSD rather than a PTSD, I guess, of like fully immersing yourself. 100%, you know, like get it. And
I do think a big plus is that the mystery gift events for like the Mystic and the Aurora ticket, so you can actually go now legitimately have these events for Ho-Oh, Lugia and Deoxys and like hunt them in game and shiny hunt them if you want. And then the ability to port them to home as well is like, that's probably one of the biggest draws for me. I think having it on the Switch and having that home compatibility, knowing that like I can get a shiny Charmander and I'm going to be able to port it into Champions to use as a Mega Charizard in like one of my comp teams. I'm like, that's pretty cool, right?
That's very cool. That is so cool.
Stuff like that. And, you know, if I get like a Mankey in that game, I can port it out, take it to Scarlet and Violet, evolve it into an Annihilate, and then be like, oh, I've got this like cool one-off unique Annihilate that,
I think it's kind of ushering a new era, right? Because like Pokemon Bank and Poke Transfer and that's all been closed down. So unless you have,
it's still running.
Is it still running? Okay, well,
still running.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
did you hear the info that came from like the data mine of Fire Red and Leaf Green from the Switch version? So there's been quite a few changes to the actual internal data, and a bit of information is in there that is really indicative that we're gonna get at some point soon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald as well ported on Switch, which is pretty hype.
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense because I find it like mad that they've released Fire Red and Leaf Green and you can't physically like 100% the game because you can't complete the national decks. Like it's impossible to do on just that game.
The only other thing
that they haven't done like Wi-Fi online trading. I think that is like such a blunder, but that's a decision that's been made. I don't know why, but I think that needs to be rectified because there's so many trade evolutions and like there's going to be so many people out there that don't know anyone with the game and they're not going to be able to evolve any of their stuff. Like they're going to have a Kadabra, a Haunter, they're going to have a Machoke and Graveland. They're going to be stuck with these and they're not going to be able to get like Steelix or Scizor when they get the national decks because they've got no way to trade them. I just think that's mad and you're not going to be able to do it because a lot of those you still need to trade, right? You're gonna have to port them to Scarlet and Violet. Oh wait, you can't port them then back to Leaf Green. So it's like,
I do think they missed a huge trick with not doing some kind of physical copy. Like,
yeah,
because for me, I don't like downloading games because you don't really own them. Okay, you bought them on your Nintendo account, but Nintendo
yeah.
could take them away. I'm sure in the fine print somewhere it's written if they decide to, you know. I'm a big believer in owning physical media. I don't want to get into it, but you know, I would have, I mean, they could have made loads of money if they made some kind of physical Switch version or cart that you could plug in. Like, people would eat it up, and I don't know why they didn't do it. Probably because it was probably an afterthought.
Did we get confirmation, because we were talking about this last week? Did we get confirmation on the
Japanese one?
sets, the Japanese ones,
Yeah, I
exactly,
think
if
it's
they
just
did have physical copies or not?
no, it's just a digital, like it's just like a code for a digital
Okay.
download.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's a shame.
Yeah, that is a shame, actually.
So, but I think they did the same thing with you know, when they ported like the Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, Crystal to the 3DS, they did those as like the replica box, but inside was just a digital code.
Well, at least you got a box.
Yeah,
I
pretty
guess.
cool.
I know.
Yeah. I
Okay,
don't know.
well, that was Fire
Yeah.
Red, Leaf Green. I'm the only one that seems to be playing it.
Wait.
I'm having a great time with it.
Wait, you didn't ask me. So
I did.
rude. No,
I
you
did.
didn't.
And that's the
You
end of the
said you want
podcast,
an
guys.
SP, you doing that
Thanks for
now.
watching. Costa hasn't played it.
Mate,
So
so
you played it.
rude.
Sorry, Costa. I thought
no,
when you said if I had an SP, I'd be playing it now. I just assumed that you hadn't been playing it.
No, I just meant if literally if I had an SP, I would be playing it there. But
Ah.
well, although I haven't been playing it, my wife has been playing it, and I've been playing it through, you know, like her eyes and all that.
That's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
By
because, like,
osmosis. You just
Should be
absorb in the
enjoying it.
game.
exactly. Sorry, what?
You been enjoying it?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, she's been enjoying it. I've been enjoying it. Pikachu is just not cut up to do anything in this game, unfortunately. It doesn't get Light Ball, which would have made it come somewhat decent.
Yeah.
So we finally evolved it into Raichu because we've reached Celadon City.
Nice.
So, yeah. But honestly,
Decision.
loving it.
Awesome.
We caught a really rare spawn, Dud Trio, in Diglett Tunnel, level
nice.
29 when we were like level 19 and 20.
There's a really cool repel trick I should have shown you for that, and it makes getting the Doug Trio like you can get it in like a minute.
Oh, is that with the certain level? It needs to be a higher level, like maybe like a level 25 or something like that.
Yeah, so you cut out all the Doug Trio, and there's like there's a little nuke in the cave where you can position yourself, and you can literally just go backwards and forwards like that, and you just get the encounter like so quick. Yeah.
Okay, well, there you go. Not so rare when you've got brains. But yes,
you should make a short of that. Yeah.
Well played. But no, it's been hitting all the boxes in terms of nostalgia. I'm probably gonna start my own. I was considering doing like maybe some content around it. So
nice.
I'll see.
Yeah, do it.
Why not?
Do it.
Awesome. Do it, man. Yeah. So anyone that's playing Fire Red Leaf Green, hope you're enjoying it. And if you share the same opinions of Scott, let us know down below. We'd love to hear from you.
Begrudgingly, let us know.
No, I want to hear. I
was going to push people to your streams there, but you know I'm not. No, Lee's not been streaming it, so don't go to his channel.
Yeah.
Multi-layered roasting. Amazing.
Yeah.
What you get.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, Pokopia later this week, boys. Another new game to the sleeve of Pokemon. This time more of a cozy crossover, more like Animal Cross vibey game that's coming out. It's in 3 days as of recording this. When the pod goes up, I think it will be coming out the day after, or it'll be dropped already. So depending on, I think it's a worldwide release, so it'll be probably around 2 p.m. UK time on Wednesday, I think, if it's a New Zealand midnight drop. So that'll be pretty exciting. Are you guys getting that game? Are you pre-ordered it? Are you planning to play it, or is it not something? Is it not your jam?
100% getting it. I mean, my wife is a cozy gamer.
Yeah.
I'm just here for the ride. You know, like she was playing Animal Crossing. She's seen that this is similar to Animal Crossing. We've got all of these game reviewers giving it 9 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s,
It's
5 out of
nuts.
5s. It's insane. So I think we're just gonna have to
Mm.
we're just gonna have to buy it. Now, do we buy it with the Poker Center Ditto plush or not? I don't
No,
know.
I know.
That's an
Yeah, I'm
option.
so tempted with that. I'm like,
Yeah, me too.
do I need another sitting cutie though? I'm like,
Yeah, well, yeah, you
probably.
can never. Well, as long as you got space, but then again, you've always got space. You know, for
Find
little kids
space.
sitting cutie. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. But yes, so probably a definite yes from
Mm.
me, hands down.
Awesome, Scott. What about yourself, mate?
I don't have a Switch 2, so I probably won't buy it. Why is it funny though? I haven't bought a Switch 2.
No.
I just completely forgot the fact that you talked about it.
That's the funny part. I wasn't laughing that you don't
Yeah,
have a Switch 2.
I'm laughing at
It's
me.
the fact that
Kind of
Lee just
ignoring the
set
fact.
you up there. It was amazing.
I'm
Oh,
sorry,
God.
mate. I'm sorry, dude.
Golly gosh.
It's
And
alright.
no plans to this hasn't been like enough for you to say I want to get a Switch 2. 'Cause I imagine when Gen 10 drops, you'll be like, I'd probably consider getting a Switch 2 for that.
I'm
But
really
that's the goal.
I really want an OLED Switch. When the original Switch
Holding
come out,
for that. Yeah.
I kept telling myself I'm gonna wait, because like they did the Better Battery Life version and then the OLED version, and I was like, do I buy one? Do I what? They'll probably do another iteration. That went on for too long, and now I kept telling myself if I buy a Switch now, I won't buy another one in this. So I just want to hold out as long as possible, especially with the release of Champions being on mobile as well. It means that if I want to play competitive, I won't potentially need one. I think it's going to run on Switch 1 anyway, but yeah. So I do want to play it, but I kind of do want to see more reviews. I don't like pre-ordering stuff, and I know the early reviews have been good. It does look very cozy. It looks like a game that could get me into cozy gaming. But because I'm not really aside from Pokemon, I don't really play many like RPGs or like cozy games. Never really played Stardew Valley, which a lot of people are comparing it to. I know it's similar to Minecraft as well, but I want the best experience. It's the same reason why I haven't bought ZA either. Like, I just want the games to run well. I'm tired of the crap on the Switch, on the regular Switch. I'm trying to hold it. I feel like what's going to happen is they're going to drop something that I want, either an OLED version or like a special Gen 10 version, and then I'm going to be very poor because I'm then going to go buy ZA and then probably Pokopia at the same time, which isn't going to be good for my bank account, but that is just the way I've decided I want to do it.
Well, you can try to stagger them, right? Maybe you can buy like a game that you think is gonna guarantee be bought by yourself earlier on.
Yeah, probably.
It's separate because you're just gonna like the physical copy. You're just gonna be looking at it. It's gonna be looking at you, and you're both gonna be wondering where's the Switch 2. But that's
rhymed.
fine. I totally planned 100%.
That is, yeah, that's a good way to do it. And I think I didn't touch on it earlier as well. I think that's like a plus about it being like a year and a half away, Gen 10. It gives people that don't have a Switch 2 yet the chance to.
That's probably one of their arguments, right? As well,
time get it cheaper, get a Switch 2 cheaper when that drops.
Get
because
used
there
one.
might be the OLED version out, or it gives you a chance to kind of just save for a year and a half to be able to get that console if you're really dead set on getting it. Wind and Waves when they do come out. So that's a plus. But Pokopia, yeah. Pick it up, Scott. Just sit on it. Wait till you get that OLED Switch 2.
Do you think I'm made of money? Just sit on £60 worth of games. To be fair, it won't go down in price because Nintendo never discount their games. But
yeah, probably won't.
But
yeah. Digital key card though. How are your feelings about that?
No, don't like that.
Yeah, no. A lot of people don't either.
No,
it's a big complaint about it.
I like all my Pokemon games are bought as physical copies. Scarlet and Violet, ironically, I don't have, but someone bought me as a gift on the eShop, so obviously I didn't have a physical copy of it. I would like to pick up a physical copy of it because, like I said, all of my old games I've got the physical versions of. Yeah. I'm just not a fan of. I get the convenience of it, PC gaming is all, is essentially the same thing. You know, you don't have to buy a physical version, but that kind of PC gaming has kind of evolved into that, just what it is. But console gaming, you know, I want the physical versions in case something ever happens. If they decide to stop supporting the game or whatever, I just yeah.
Or if you want to sell it as well, like there are
That is
different
also a big
avenues
thing,
for it.
selling it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I don't mind that. I think that approach is good, sensible as well.
That's
But
true.
Pokopia seems like it seems a huge game. It seems like it's going to be
It's a good one for the streamers, isn't it? It seems like it's probably going to pop off.
yeah, I think so,
Multiplayer as
yeah.
well, mate. 4-player multiplayer.
Multiplayer, I know it's going to be wild, isn't it? We'll have to get some multiplayer going with it, I think. So that'll be fun.
Get me with a FOMO.
Yeah.
Oh, Scott, have you been playing Pokopia?
We'll be pinning you, mate. We'll be pinning you whenever we're up into a session. Oh, hey, you wanna check it out? Convince you to
I'll get you on a call, mate.
Just stream it, be like, Scott, look what you're missing out on.
And you'll be like, I'm actually missing out. I'm going to have to go and get a Switch too.
No, I'm too stubborn.
No, I know you'll stay strong. I know you'll stay strong. But yeah, I think, you know, it's not a bad thing to wait till actually more fleshed out reviews come out. I haven't actually read any of the specific reviews. I don't know if we've had any, have we had any like full reviews of like details and stuff in the game yet? Or is that still embargoed until, that'll be like tomorrow, I guess, will it? Or is it today?
So I know, I think, I know I've already read a Screen Rant one where they've gone into some good level of different sections of the game. They were also one of the people that gave it 10 out of 10, which is really cool. But yeah, I think so. We said it's releasing March 5th. I know that there's going to be an exclusive game dev sort of show and tell.
Tomorrow, isn't it?
That's the tomorrow one, right?
Third, yeah.
Yeah, it's the 3rd. That's right. Yeah. So by this time, people will have already maybe seen it
Yeah.
ahead of us. But yeah, let us know, I guess, in comments. But yeah, so I mean, it's looking good. It's looking good. I'm not going to give too much away, but they've even said that the multiplayer looks really good and they're looking forward to it because there'll be more sort of islands in a way for people to be able to explore from everyone else and interchange, similar to like an Animal Crossing.
Can't you as well get people that don't have the game? You can invite them to your island or something like that. There's a feature.
Oh, is that in conjunction with the actual Switch 2 feature functionality where you can share?
Game share and
Game share, that's
thing.
it.
Is it game share or is it called something else? But yeah, I saw something on it today. I didn't have a chance to actually read about it, but I was like, that's kind of wild. But
Remember when you used to be able
multiplayer-
to like race a Mario Kart without actually owning the game? So when you did multiplayer, you could just needed a DS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore though. They're like,
I know.
you need a copy of the game to do that.
Not today.
Lads.
Show us the wallet.
Yeah. Where's my fee? Yeah, but that's about it from the highs of Pokemon Day that were exciting. The presents that hit a lot of notes and all of the information that's come out after that. And I guess we'll just finish up on a question that I've had at the back of my mind. Do you think with the delay to Gen 10, for whatever reason, it might not be a delay, it might be planned, but the timing of its release, at least a year out from now, not a little bit longer, do you think there is going to be something in the interim between now and then that is going to be dropped to maybe fill a gap, like a remake? Or do you think they're going to rely on ports like Ruby Sapphire Emerald or some other older titles that might come back to the Switch 2 systems in place just to kind of tide us over? Because I know Pokopia is going to take up a lot of room, but it kind of it scratches a different itch, I think, in the fan base. Champions also does the same. ZA, I feel like, has fallen off harder than what they were expecting it to, unfortunately. And I feel like there is a bit of a gap myself, but I don't know. I feel like if something was due out later this November, we would have had something about it in this Pokemon Day Presents.
I think nothing, just the ports. I feel like yeah, I feel like we would have known, because if they're going to release another, like a remake, like another Ilka game, or like I say a Gen 5 remake Ilka version, or another Let's Go, I don't think they're going to do another Let's Go game for Gen 10. The only thing it could possibly be is a Gen 5, some kind of Gen 5 remake. But I think I just can't see that happening. I feel like we would have had some leaks or something by now. It would have probably been in. I feel like it would have been in the leaks for the Gen 10 stuff when it come out. So probably just the ports. I don't know when, but they'll maybe drop. I mean, we are still just assuming that the release date is going to be next November. That might not be the case.
Yeah,
but I think it will probably be like Ruby Sapphire Emerald at some point, maybe some other games, but that's it between now and the new Gen 10. What do you guys think?
Good stuff, Scotty. Costa, what do you think, my friend?
I guess I think the only other thing that I can think of that maybe could, if they wanted to really slot it in, was like a secret mystery dungeon kind of game.
That'd be
But
cool.
it'd be so good.
That would be very cool.
But I don't think it's realistic. Like, it just feels across all the different titles and projects they've got, they're wearing themselves a bit too thin, especially now that they've got certain games like Champions, and we've seen with the ZA teams that still need to stay on project after release in order to maintain and stuff like that. I think, and obviously, you know, like Game Freak has its own non-Pokemon dedicated game and title that they're working on. So I feel like, no, it's probably gonna be ports, like Scott and you guys were saying. Maybe like the Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald stuff, maybe more of the Colosseum ports as well at some point. Because like next year, there are quite a few high-profile game releases as well, alongside wins and waves whenever they come. So they need to make sure they're targeting the right sort of quarter of the year. You've got like The Witcher 4, you've got Call of Duty, you've got Fable, so that's from Playground Games, which was originally going to be this year, but it looks like it's pushed to next year. And there's Tomb Raider stuff. So like you need to make sure that you're targeting a good slot for
GTA
release.
6 as well. Is that next year?
Well, if
it does again.
if it does, yes. Yes.
We're surely going to get a Mario like for the Switch 2 at some point. Like that cannot go on for much longer without them releasing an actual Mario game for this system.
That's true.
Seems criminal that we've not had anything announced or even whispered
Mario
yet.
Kart. It's in the name.
Sorry.
That's fair. But I guess like a dedicated Mario. Yeah.
We got quite a few for the Switch, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I dropped with I have to look up on my shelf now and hope I can spot it. Odyssey, didn't we?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that came out with the
yeah, we had towards the back end of the last year we had quite a few. Like we had Wonder, we had the Paper Mario re-released as well. So there's quite a few there. Yeah. So well, that's interesting to hear. I only ask because of what a comment you said that you mentioned earlier. You said, I wonder if they've put it purposely into next year, into specifically, you know, Q3 or Q4 because of other projects that might be in the works and they need to leave room for them. That's all I asked for, because I'm like curious what you think those projects might be. I'm with you, Scott. I think it will just be the ports. I would love to see Gen 5 remake, but I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna. I don't know if they've got the resources to do it. You know, Ilka are now working like as part of Pokemon Works. Do they have a subsection within that where they're working on remakes? I don't know. I feel like BDSP, when you look at the sales figures, it sold pretty well for what it was. It's pretty high up in the charts. So I think it would warrant doing a remake on Gen 5 as well, you know? So I think the possibilities there, I think the numbers make sense from a business point of view, but whether they'll do it, whether they've got the resource for it or not, I don't know. But I would love to see it. I think that would definitely fill a gap for a year, but I don't know. I feel like they're moving away from that now and moving away from the remakes and doing more Legends titles, which is fine. It's just different, isn't it?
they always have it as a fallback, right, with the remakes. So it's not
Yeah.
something that they've still got good amount of slots of remakes that could go down, or even like just remake, as we've seen with like first gen Kanto
Yeah.
stuff. So
I almost feel as well if they do remakes now for the sake of doing a remake, it's great and all, but I feel like you kind of in the past have set the bar with these like remakes like Hard Gold, Soul Silver, like Auras, like Emerald we've
I think
talked about.
Oras was
Like,
such a good
yeah,
remake.
it
I mean, it
was.
and I
became
feel
a
like
main series game, right? But
yeah, but if you're
Probably
gonna do the remake, I think like do an enhanced version. Like they call Fire Red Leaf Green. The reason they said they released this rather than the original Red, Blue, and Yellow was because this was the ultimate version. So like if you're gonna do remakes, make the enhanced ultimate version of this region. And I think if you do that, then it warrants like doing the remake. But if you're not gonna do that and just do a faithful remake for the sake of it, it feels kind of like it's cool, but it's like
A bit of a cop out.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see them. I think we spoke about this last week. Going down the route of maybe the next ZA title or Legends title would be Johto, and then maybe they could try to go down the route of at the same time parallel, similar to what they did with Brilliant Diamond and Pearl and all that.
Yeah.
You've got remakes of Soul, Silver, or at least Silver, Gold, and stuff like that they could try to churn
They
out.
couldn't remake Hot Gold, Soul Silver. They just have to port that straight up, I
I
think.
think so, because it's
Yeah.
literally the perfect game. So
Yeah. And then
yeah.
re-release these alongside it that work with the Switch.
Yes. Oh
Yes.
my god, yes.
why have you got that on your
They should
desk?
do the same as well with, if they do a Legends Unova for the Ultimate Dragon and all of that storyline, then they could do a similar thing in that scenario to familiarize the newer fan base with
Right.
Generation 5. That would be epic. I would love that. Imagine them re-releasing Black and White and then Legends Unova.
That's
shortly after that.
that's such a like a sure kill kind of strategy in order to just make the poker dollars, because
Make it the bread.
yeah, why wouldn't that sell? Like it just it's
Yeah,
such
but there's
a,
so many things that they could do and probably should have done, but they just don't do because they can get by with doing the bare minimum and they still make bread anyway. So
just depends on the priorities really and what they want to try to like what's on their production schedule, because they're trying to amp things up more and more and more, and we champions being champions, the whole point is accessibility. We want to get more people involved, right? People from my job from work were turning around and telling me just today as well, where they're like, oh, I heard about champions and now I'm playing more ZA and other like games in the past like Brilliant Diamond and stuff, so because I know I'm going to be able to port them from home and then pop them into champions.
That's cool.
So I could use just to play. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, there you go. It's clearly working to an extent in certain mindsets of people that wouldn't pick up VGC to say, oh, hey, you know what? This is more accessible now. And I could bring my Pokemon from different games just so I could battle here. I know that technically you can still do it in a way, but it's just more portable and easy as a concept versus the current games.
I love the feature that they confirmed in it as well, where they said if you've trained a Pokemon in Champions, you trade it out to home again. When you trade it back to Champions, it'll retain the training that it had. I was like, oh, that is so good. So you're not wasting like the VP, and you can move them around freely, knowing that when you trade it back into Champions, it will still be the same as when you traded it out. It's like,
yeah,
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a small quality of life stuff that will
hopefully
really
there's
help.
more of that sort of thing to come out.
Fingers crossed.
Let's hope. Well, that's about it, I think, chaps, unless there's anything else you want to add in before we finish up this week. It's been a lot of fun.
It has.
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, we've rambled on for an hour and a half, so it's been
a longie.
Been very good. There's a lot to talk about, I think, around this time. Any time around a presents, there's always a lot of funky stuff to talk about. And time will tell if half the stuff we talk about today will come true.
We'll probably be talking about it next week as well. So
probably.
To an extent, yeah.
Yes. And Pokopia as well, since that will have released by then, and anyone that is going to be playing it on release day over the weekend, I hope you have a lot of fun with it. And talking about fun, we are also going to be renaming the podcast and rebranding it in light of having Kosta join in our ranks. So,
sorry, guys.
we've been discussing new names for the pod, but we decided maybe at the end of today's episode, for those stragglers that are still sticking around here right now, we love you the most. If you want to put suggestions out there with names that you think would be cool, just suggestions to theme it around or anything like that to create a little bit of inspiration. You never know, if you come up with a one, you might actually name the podcast. So that would be pretty cool. But we're throwing it out there for a little bit of help to see what you guys think. Obviously no pressure or anything like that, but there it is. And hopefully by this time next week, we'll have it all done and we'll be under a new umbrella, new name and new design and all that nice jazzy stuff. But yeah, so that's it from me. I'm going to stop my ramble. I will say thank you to Scott, thank you to Kosta, and I'm going to throw it over to these boys to close out the show and give their last words of this beautiful episode. Thank you to you as well for tuning in.
That's such a good sign off. I don't think I can top that, but yeah, I think let us know how you guys are feeling about Pokemon Presents in the comments. Obviously, if you are still here, thank you very much for making it all the way through. Be sure to leave reviews on Spotify, and it's on Apple now. We're back on Apple. Yeah, suggestions or anything you want us to talk about. You know, there's some really sweet comments I was going through about people being glad that the podcast is back. And we're very happy to be back with our new edition as well. So we'll see you next week at some point. Is there anything you want to say, Costa, before we sign off?
Probably not. I think you guys covered everything I could even imagine of covering, but I'm just going to send us off with a lot of love. Thank you very much, everybody. We are here and we will be here on a weekly basis. So if you have enjoyed any part of this lovely podcast, make sure to tune in for more, as we will be back next time round. So with that being said, thank you very much all. Have yourselves a lovely rest of your day wherever you are, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Woo.